I'm a white-tailed deer, and my life is 99% panic, 1% leaves. I'm basically an anxiety simulator on 4 legs, presented by someone who spent too much time in the woods and not enough time in therapy. Yes, that's me. My brain is melting, and I can't stop drooling. Send help. 1 minute, I was chewing some juicy leaves, minding my business, being majestic. The next, I was wobbling around like a drunk raccoon, tongue out, drooling like I just saw a buffet, and staring at a tree like it held the secrets of the universe. Spoiler. It didn't. Also, my ribs were sticking out. Food tasted like sadness, and I couldn't remember if I'd already eaten or just dreamed it. My brain? Basically, soup. Turns out, I've got chronic wasting disease. It's like zombie mode for deer, and there's no cure. Worse, some humans think they might catch it from us, which is wild, because they're the ones licking doorknobs and drinking lake water at music festivals. Anyway, want to know how I ended up here? Let me take you back. I was born confused, damp, and mostly legs. The first thing I remember is light. Too much of it. Then came sound. Then, the sudden realization that my limbs had no idea how to cooperate. I looked like a spaghetti sculpture trying to do yoga. I was new. I was spotted. I was 80% panic, 10% wobble, and 10% ear. My mom, a total pro, nudged me like, "Come on, tiny mess, up you get." And I tried. I really did. I face planted. Repeatedly. But eventually, I stood. Shaky, confused, victorious. And that's when the anxiety truly began. The forest wanted to eat me. Literally everyone. Fun fact, when you're a newborn fawn, you are basically nature's appetizer. Wolves, cougars, bears, eagles, unhinged squirrels, everything wants a bite. Even chipmunks look at you funny. So what does mom do? She bounces, off to graze. And I lie flat on the ground, like a fallen leaf, with trust issues. My spotted coat helps me vanish into the forest light. I hold my breath. Don't blink. Don't twitch. If stillness were an Olympic sport, I'd be covered in gold medals and milk stains. Because that's all I did back then. Chill. Honestly, it was kind of peaceful. If you ignored a constant mortal peril, eventually, my spots faded, my legs stopped betraying me, and mom introduced me to solid food. Leaves, grass, bark, berries, clover. Also known as the world's most aggressively vegan menu. I learned to forage. You sniff, you nibble, you accidentally eat a rock, you move on. Some days, I'd wander into a garden. Humans plant the best stuff. Tomatoes? Divine. Tulips? Weird, but I'd eat them again. You find your favorite spots meadows, shady groves, places with no bears. You become a connoisseur of greens. You judge plants. You develop opinions on lost texture. It's a lifestyle. Suddenly, my head grew bones. That itched. One day I woke up and my forehead felt weird, hot, tingly, itchy, like mosquito bites made of shame. Then the bumps came. My first antlers, covered in velvet, which sounds fancy, but actually just feels like fuzzy agony and itches. So bad. I scratched my head on literally every tree. And then, when the velvet dried, I peeled it off like I was molting my soul. Now I had antlers. Real ones. Pointy, lopsided, a little embarrassing, but mine. And I knew, one day, I would use them to fight someone. I just hoped it wouldn't be a porcupine again. The rut. A courage, romance, and regret. Then came the rut. I had no idea what was happening. One day, I was eating clover. The next, I wanted to fight a tree and marry it at the same time. Hormones hit like a thunderstorm in my brain. I started grunting, pacing, chasing does with the grace of a caffeinated goat. But there was a problem. Other bucks. Bigger, meaner, with antlers that looked like cursed furniture. I tried to challenge one. He looked at me like I was a weird leaf. Then he launched me 10 feet into the bushes. Honestly, fair, but mark my words. I'll be back, with bigger antlers and fewer emotional needs. My life became parkour and panic. At some point, I realized my true talent wasn't fighting. It was running. I can jump over 3 meters high, leap nearly 10 meters forward. I zigzag through trees like a caffeinated ninja. Oh, and I swim. Yes, I, a deer, can swim across rivers like it's no big deal. Because sometimes snacks are on the other side, and sometimes wolves are on this side. Also, my tail, that fluffy white flag isn't just cute. It's my emergency broadcast system. If it pops up, every deer nearby knows, run, idiots, Run now. That time I met a human and forgot how legs work. One morning, I was chewing bark. A human appeared. We locked eyes. They whispered, "Oh my God, look, a deer!" I whispered back, in my mind, "Oh my God, look, a predator with trail mix!" Then they reached into their bag. I panicked, flipped, sprinted into the woods so fast, I scared a fox mid-poop. I don't know what they wanted, but I wasn't sticking around to find out. I became king of the forest. Briefly. Years passed, I grew. Thick neck, massive antlers, muscles in places I didn't know existed. I was majestic. Leaves trembled when I approached. Other bucks looked away. Does noticed. During rut, I grunted so hard, I nearly passed out. I fought. I mated. I reigned. I was no longer the snack. I was the whole buffet. Until I wasn't. Wait, why is the tree breathing? Then it started. Wobbly legs. Drooling. Forgetting where I was mid-step. Circling the same bush for an hour. I tried to eat, but nothing tasted right. I stood in the road once, just blinking. A human touched me. I didn't care. I wasn't there. Chronic wasting disease had claimed me. It eats your brain. Slowly, brutally, caused by prions, rogue proteins that act like drunk gremlins in your nervous system. They can live in soil for years. There's no treatment, no escape. You just fade. 5 weird deer things I never told you. Since we're oversharing, here's what else makes me weird. I can bark like a dog. Seriously, if I'm spooked, I'll let out a sound that makes squirrels cry. My hooves change with the seasons. Summer equals soft, winter equals sharp and murdery. I lick my nose constantly. It's not a nervous habit. It sharpens my sense of smell. I'm basically licking my radar dish. I see in blue and yellow. Red doesn't exist to me. Stop signs? Just angry blueberries. I've accidentally joined a turkey flock once. Long story. Wrong morning. No regrets. If you see me, maybe just wave. So, yeah. I was born with wobbly legs. I survived being snack-sized. I grew weapons on my head. I fell in love. I fought battles. I fled wolves. I was born with wobbly legs. I survived being snack-sized. I grew weapons on my head. I fell in love. I fought battles. I fled wolves. And now, I'm melting from the inside out. Nature's brutal. Nature's weird. Nature doesn't care how cute your eyelashes are. But you know what? If I had to do it all again, I'd still eat that tomato. I'd still challenge that bear. And I'd still run like hell with my tail up. Next time you meet me in nature, do me a favor. Don't touch me. Don't feed me. And absolutely do not assume I want to be your forest selfie. I'm probably busy running from existential dread or slowly becoming a zombie. And if this beautiful mess of hooves and hormones made you laugh, cry, a naive crayon-style drawing with a few expressive colors, as if drawn by a child trying to invite you into a weird club of questionable nature facts. In the center, the deer turns toward the viewer